Hey Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. I'm so sorry about being so delayed with your yearly readings for 2023. However, I've had like lots of things I've been working on behind the scenes, and life kind of got a little distracting. So I'm going to do it a little differently just because we're already really getting into this year. I'm going to do 12 months. We'll do a time kind of frame for the 12 months that are leading from the month of Aries season starting March, and then we will go into the full year of the zodiac as it is in the Wheel of the Year, starting with the zodiac sign Aries. Okay, so this is a reading for Sagittarius. However, we will be discussing the time frame starting with the time of Aries. Okay, if that makes more sense. You would think that Mercury was retrograde right now, but my mouth is in knots. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we're doing 12 months. I've already called in everybody I need to call in. Let's do this here. Okay, for March. April. May. June. July. August. September. October. November, December, January, February of next year. Okay. And we're going to get a kind of a clarifier. We'll get more details going on with this way, adding another card in the mix. We are doing Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the year 2023, starting with the time of Aries, March 2023. Since I am so late to the party. But I've been cooking up some really interesting things. I don't know if I'm ready to share with you guys yet, but maybe in the near future I will be doing that. I've also been dealing with some life stuff, as we all do from time to time. All right, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, starting in March 2023, ending in February 2024. What are we going to expect for Sagittarius? Well, that's a first. I'll take it. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. All right. Okay, so we'll start off with the first month here. March has the Page of Wands and the Ace of Swords. This brings to my mind somebody who is thinking in a new way, maybe feeling a little bit excited about some kind of new idea or new concept. The Page of Wands is somebody who is a novice at something that they are finding extremely inspiring, or they are inspired by this activity, and they are kind of, that they have the passion and the drive to really dig deep into something, okay? And the Ace of Swords being like the crowning idea, the inception of something new in thought or experience, a new way of thinking, a new way of experiencing the world is coming into play in March. This could be a new beginning that is blessed in terms of some kind of something you've wanted to start and you're excited about starting. There's it has to do with the intellect, and maybe there's this kind of, it's as stimulating mentally as it is physically. So whatever you're doing, it may require you to be hands-on with it and also use your logical mind to tackle it. But it seems like you're enjoying this new venture that's going to be happening in March. In April, Sagittarius, I have the Two of Cups and the Queen of Swords. This new start in March could have to do with a relationship of some kind, whether that be business or whether that could be romantic. This could be also a friendship. I'm not going to put too much of a microscope on it because it's a general reading. But with the Queen of Swords, it's very interesting how we have almost a mirror image of the sword that she holds in her hand in the Ace of Swords in March. It's as if she's looking back at an old photo of something, or looking back at an old love in a photo, or something that she used to do that she loved, and kind of gaining clarity and understanding over, kind of looking at it through a new lens almost. Also, she's got the hindsight, right? Something that she started a while ago that was a new beginning is now becoming and building momentum, and now there's almost a separate or a new person being involved in this project, or there's a new way of looking at things, or she's gotten wise about what she's previously been excited about starting, okay? So it's almost like quick mastery, jumping quite ahead in whatever you're getting yourself into. Now, this could be a relationship, so that would be like kind of like a very fast paced. With the Page of Wands, he's not afraid about getting his hands dirty, getting involved, and he's pretty quick. You know, he likes to move things along very quickly. He's very excited about things. So there's almost this need to understand that we may have jumped into something in March, and in April we are looking at it in a more wise is not the word necessarily, but a more experienced approach, or a more um, not getting our emotions entangled so much in the emotional dynamic that might be playing out with somebody. So we're thinking logically about emotional situation. We may come off as standoffish or cold, um, depending on how we approach this. However, there was something that started in March, or that will start in March, excuse me, that is going to be gaining momentum and moving fast. And I see you kind of taking a look, stepping out of the situation a little bit and being more rational minded in terms of how you're emotionally being received and how you are emotionally giving to somebody else. Thinking about that in a very logical way, because the Queen of Swords has been through quite a lot and she understands herself and she prioritizes um, her ideals, and not in a kind of fanciful way. She kind of is very grounded in her thoughts because she knows that she's been through things that have kind of challenged her, and she might be looking back at something that she started, earlier in March that may or may not have been something she would normally jump into and rush into. But this also, if it's not a relationship of some kind, it could be about talking about the excitement over this new start that you quickly advance and become kind of a pro at. And the Two of Cups is a reciprocity. There's harmony and balance, right? So there's a sharing of energies here. So you're maybe getting smart about how you share your ideas with others. Going forward, she's not open. She does have her hand placed out to beckon somebody forward, but she's got a filter. She knows what she wants in. She's discernment, right? She knows what she wants in and she knows what she doesn't want. So this is you kind of reflecting on the past month or so and being like, okay, so am I ready for this? Am I moving forward? Are we doing this? Am I doing this? Am I going to keep going with this? Okay. So let's move on to, all right, May. All right. In May, we have the Ten of Pentacles, and we have another page, the Page of Swords. So whatever we were dealing with in the previous month, I don't know if it's connected necessarily, but in May, you will have some sort of news that comes in having to do with family. I'm going to say it could have to do with, the kind of legacy that you're keeping. This also, if this is a business idea that started over here, this could be about learning some kind of money management, or maybe learning how to budget or put aside some money, investments. This is some kind of long-term goal or wealth or generational wealth that's coming in. So because of the solidarity of the Queen of Swords and the Two of Cups is kind of a shared thing, she's kind of deciding what she wants to do with shared assets. Maybe you have moved in with somebody and you're trying to draw a line about where your boundaries are in terms of, well, what's mine and what's yours, and who's responsible for what, and so the Queen of Swords, she might come off like a little bit cold to some people or unemotional, but she has been around and understands the value of her own experiences. Okay, so there's almost a step back, and you kind of let your guard down a little bit in May, um, because we see the step down from the Queen to the Page, and it's as if she's looking at her sword, right? She's keeping her eye on the um, the new aspect that's been kind of brought in. But the Page, he's ready to take action and not necessarily so worried about what's going on with the sword. He's got his eyes on other things now. So maybe there's a distraction that comes in with the family in May where you have to, you know, this is also, like I said, with this, she's like looking back at the past here. There could be some reflecting going on and looking at old photos, or maybe you go to a family get together of some kind and you're looking at old photos of yourself and seeing how much you've changed, and just really kind of getting it's almost like a deja vu almost type of thing. It could be a photo of when you were younger in a family shot, because I have, it looks like a younger version of her, right? And she's got the family here, and everybody's like in a picturesque, picturesque mode. You also, the Page of Swords can be a little bit snippy or slightly argumentative. He's in the upright, so I don't think it's too bad. It could be like bickering kind of, and the Queen of Swords, she doesn't take any crap from anybody, right? She's pretty straightforward to the point, clear cut with her words. She can almost be kind of cutting with her words because she's very direct. So you might have started some new thing that you were very excited about, and now you're deciding whether you want to share this thing with either family or friends, or share finances with a lover, right? And maybe you're letting your guard down with your family a little bit, or you're becoming, there's almost this maturity in this particular relationship, and then there's a lack of maturity within the family scope. So maybe there's some kind of disciplinary thing that's going on if you have children, or there's some sort of kind of understanding how it all started, like how you built this legacy even. There's a reflecting going on there. All right, let's move on so I can kind of get more of the picture. So March, April, May, June. June, we see the Five of Cups, and we have the Justice card here. Justice is the Libra, right? So I see that there's some sort of disappointment going on in June, and it seems to be balancing itself out in some way, shape, or form, or there is some sort of kind of karmic tie to it happening. This new start, this new fresh beginning, a victorious, in March you're feeling victorious, you're very excited about life. April, it seems like, you're getting a little bit more discerning about a relationship and putting up boundaries. There might be an argument coming in the family with somebody younger than you in May. And then there is some sort of verdict or kind of dishing out of a responsibility maybe that leaves you a little bit bummed in June. Now, this could have to be this could be like something more emotional, or this could be a court case that leaves you emotional. It doesn't have to be with you personally. It could be something on the news, because the Page of Swords is the news, right? He brings the news, and so doesn't the Page of Wands. So it's information, and it's something about passion, right? And the Queen of Swords can also be a judge. She is the wise woman. She is a lawyer. She is, somebody who, if anybody's been dealing with any kind of probate court situation, or any kind of legal matter, there could be some news that is kind of disappointing, but is actually fair in the scheme of things. So it won't end completely disastrous, but it won't feel like that great either. It'll be a balanced and fair judgment. You might get an argument with your family about whatever this is that's happened, or that you're taking because there's passionate you're very, it's not aggressive necessarily. I mean, with the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords, it could be some aggressive news. It could get you a little fired up and debating. So if it's anything political in the family, there could be like a little argument over it. And it seems like in June, whether this is associated with the rest of the cards or not, there is a fair kind of outcome to a situation that maybe feels like you've lost something, or things didn't go exactly the way you emotionally wanted them to go. However, there's still hope, because you still have this relationship here. So the Two of Cups remains, okay? Whatever loss you had in terms of maybe a situation in the family that might have been irritating and you don't want to speak to that person, or you feel like you lost out on an opportunity of some kind because of somebody, it seems like your discernment with this relationship, or making boundaries in this relationship, leads you to still keep the relationship. So maybe you put up boundaries with somebody and they don't like it, in order to protect somebody else, or to make things fair, and say, hey, that's not fair. I'd really like this to go this way, or you're not seeing this very clearly or unbiased. And so there's a fairness that's put in, but there is a loss of something that comes with that. Now, in July, we have the King of Wands and the Nine of Rods. Okay. So in July, you're getting to the point where you're just about deadbeat tired with something that you've been working on. You don't know if you can keep going with it. You're thinking about giving up on it. But you've come this far, and it's like any minute you could give up or hold out. It's you don't know whether you're going to make it through whatever challenges you've been through. And these challenges might be coming from external things in your life that may be burdening you. Be careful about where you, maybe your physical body in July. Don't do any kind of risky, crazy things, just in case you may be injured, because this is a card of injury. Not saying you will be, but this is that card. I see with the King of Wands, he's the master of his manifestation skills, right? He knows his worth, he knows his value, but he's not egoic, because he's mastered his ability to be confident and yet keep himself in check with his ego, right? So I can't help but think that maybe whatever happens in June may have bruised your ego a little bit. And it may be tiring and you may be absolutely exhausted, but I see that you will be staying true to your own confident. It's not gonna bend your confidence. It's not going to put a dent in your confidence. You might be a little bit on guard in July from what happened in June, but you're gonna be sitting strong in your own potential that you know you have, that you will get through this. He holds the wand in his hand, and it's almost like somebody may be putting another burden on you, and you just don't know if you can take it. You don't want to deal with it. But that ends up being the end of that cycle, because we have the 9 and then another wand, so that's the 10. And the king is the highest in his court, right? So there is a completion of some difficult journey that you've had, difficult experience that you had in July, and it leaves you feeling more confident maybe in yourself because you've mastered the ability to get through kind of that difficult storm. She's a difficult storm rider, you know, she can ride the big waves. And so maybe it's even that you're looking back on even a more difficult time and finding kind of something new that's going to help you get a more balanced outcome, that because you've already been through something similar in the past, like the Queen of Swords here. So in August, you have the 4 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups. Very interesting combo. So we're talking about kind of a framework here. We're trying to wrap our mind around maybe some kind of situation we've been kind of clinging to, holding tight to, maybe not wanting to accept any kind of emotional offers from other people. Maybe we've been kind of bored or content with the way things have been going with our friend circle, and maybe we're just not looking to meet new people or meet a new friend, and or have any interference. It's as if you're like, I got what I got, and I don't want anyone crossing the, back, just there's like a homeostasis I find with the 4 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles. Like, I've got my bubble. I know what happens in my bubble. I know what I've got there. I'm fond of it. I don't want to let it go. So you're not letting anything in. So there's no like breathability, right? And also you're not really looking outside of the bubble to see what could potentially be a new opportunity. You might miss an opportunity in August if you're not, if you're going to be super focused on what's right in front of you. So make sure that you're staying open to maybe, any little twinklings going on over here, or, just keep an open mind and eye about maybe what's going on around you, because there might be something emotionally fulfilling that might be very emotionally stable coming in for you. Maybe you might be thinking about how you can save more money as well. Some kind of financial planning of some kind. There might be some kind of gift that's given to you, an idea, a concept that helps you kind of reorganize or kind of build some sort of foundation for yourself also in August. September, the 8 of Cups and the Hanged Man. Interesting. Very watery, very emotional. Very emotional September here. So whatever we've these two cards are like push and pull. So there is some sort of, they say sacrifice with the Hanged Man, but it's like being forced into timeout. Okay, so you've been forced into some kind of self punishment or punishment from the universe of some kind, or you feel like you have. Um, the Hanged Man is like, he's uncomfortable, right? Um, but he chose this, he chose whatever kind of, because he made the decision that ended up with the consequence of this. So he gains some sort of new understanding through this experience. And he reaches enlightenment that way, right? And he can now see like what maybe went wrong or how we can do things better, even though it's been an unpleasant maybe experience, right? All the blood's rushing to his head, but that's making him think more spiritually, right, about the situation. Here we have the little eclipse going on in the back. Something is being eclipsed out, right? Emotionally, something hasn't been doing it for you anymore. Like you've had it, you've held on to it, whatever you've been holding on to in the previous month that you've not wanted to budge on or allow in. It seems as if you finally say, all right, I've been stuck in like this for so long. Like now, what I held dear before doesn't really do it for me anymore, and I have to take a risk in order to find out what's going to come next. And not taking a risk is leading to this stagnation and kind of like almost self imprisonment, really, right? If we're not growing, if we're not changing, we're stagnant. So I want something that's going to emotionally fulfill me. I'm willing to risk it all to go find it, or try to find it. And that way I'm not stuck in this energy here with the Four of Cups and the Hanged Man. All right. What is it that we might be kind of going for? A new beginning, because we know our self-worth, we know our creativity can get us there. We are self-expressive. We are sexual. We are fiery. The Queen of Wands is exuberant. She's flashy. She's that girl that, or that guy that knows they're the shit, knows they're something special, and isn't afraid to show it off. Isn't afraid to be who they are at the true core level. And that's you, Sagittarius. You are there you are here. The King of Wands and the Queen of Wands sandwiching in here. Very interesting. Very fiery. All right. So for some reason our ego was bruised. We were kind of like holding back. We weren't willing to take a risk to change things up, right? Then we finally get sick of it, right? We finally realize like nothing is going to change unless I change, right? With something. And so we start to change and we take this risk, and in doing so we light ourselves up and we begin to shine at our true most core level, right? We're our true selves. We are now radiating our high vibrational, fiery, exotic, exuberant self, right? The sunflower, that vitality She's full of life, the Queen of Wands, and her words and her dress, the way she dresses. She's very self-expressive. And you've almost re-sparked this within yourself by taking this new adventure that you seem to be doing in October. That maybe October is going to be a great month of new beginnings. A newfound sense of self. Your passions are going to you're going to be living your passion. You're going to be going for something that makes you passionate, or you feel passionate about. Again with the Hangman in November and the Six of Pentacles. If this has anything to do with because I have the Eight of Cups, walking away from something that doesn't emotionally serve you in order to find something that maybe does. And the Six of Pentacles is a balancing, right? It's a balancing, and it's reciprocity, it's giving, it's charitable actions, and kind of having discernment about those charitable actions, right? Giving to ourselves as much as we give to other people, or if not more, to balance things out, to make things good, make everything run smoothly in the world, in our world, in their world. Maybe you realized that you were, during that time that you were stuck, you could have been doing things for other people, maybe that would have made you feel better during that time. I'm trying to see. This also could have to do with a loan. This could have to do with generosity of spirit. Somebody could come in and help you out of a kind of stuck situation. Or this could be a giving of one's time, donating one's time. If it has to do with any kind of legal situation that's been trickling through here, there would be a penalty that would be paid. There would be a balancing out of the situation. So if you're the one paying or they're the one paying, it will be a fair and just thing. I have these opposite of each other here. You might be a little upset you have to pay something, but all in all, it's fair. It's very fair with these two. So if somebody else has wronged you, or vice versa, or there's a contract, this also can have to do with a contract. It may not be the contract you wanted, but, or if it's a job contract of some kind, this could be a little bit, there could be something that's disappointing about it. However, you might be able to take some time off. You might get paid time off as well. Maybe you don't get some kind of perk in that contract, but then you do get, that balance it out. You get a lot of sick time pay. You get a lot of sick time pay because this can be the card of sickness as well, because Pisces, and I'm thinking Pisces in the 6th, but that would be Libra, right? Okay. So maybe you get more sick time instead, and instead of paid time off, or it could be paid time off as well. A contractual disappointment, having to give a little to get a little. November, December. December, we have lots of exciting communication, passionate communication with somebody who is either a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. They could be a professional of some sort in the realms of dealing with mercurial things like paperwork, contracts, obligations in terms of court paperwork, somebody who's an official, but you will be communicating a lot with them about something. Could have to do with some kind of financial planning. Also you could have a lot of really good ideas. And I have it's very interesting. I have the King of Rods and the Queen of Rods, and then I have the Queen of Swords, and the King of Swords. It's as if two couples are trying to, or two groups of partners are trying to kind of work something out. Two groups of people, two entities are trying to barter, trying to figure out something, weigh up something. Maybe looking for a way that they can reframe a situation that's been kind of stagnant. There might be some emotional ties to some financial situation. With the Ten of Pentacles, it can have to do with a will. I don't see any kind of loss of family necessarily, other than maybe news about something sad within a family. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but it's just, you would already know that this was going on. This could be about a child as well, and their legacy. So it could have to do with school, college, some sort of planning. January of, so the new year in 2024. And I just talked about, what did I just say? School planning? This is the student here. So if you are in school, this could have to do with a student loan thing. You're waiting on approval. Maybe something doesn't go through, or you get upset about how somebody decides to rule about something, or you're waiting on news from an authority figure of some kind, and maybe feeling a little bit battered and bruised and tired from the whole application process or something. But here, this is somebody who's an apprentice, learning something, taking the steps to learn a craft, learn some sort of valuable skill, right? Some information that could be potentially, make them into a successful human being. And then we have the Seven of Rods. This is defending your position on something. This is also, it's a very spiritual card because it's a 7. So defending our spiritual beliefs about something. It's a little bit deeper than just defending yourself. It can be about being defensive about something, but these combos would have to do with really wanting to learn something that you feel very deeply about, and that you're so deeply, you feel so deeply about, that you're willing to fight with others about it, or not necessarily physically fight or anything, but you're willing to kind of debate. This is learning how to debate with others, or this is being so passionate about something you're willing to get into debates about something you're learning about. So you feel very spiritually connected to whatever you're learning about in January of 2024. It may be that somebody else in the family doesn't maybe agree with it, or maybe there's a child that needs to stay with the family while there's like a trip somewhere, because the Eight of Cups is also a trip. It is travel. This also could be because the Eight of Cups is about travel. I don't have another card resembling the car, like the Chariot would, or an automobile, but it is a traveling card. So maybe there's a suspension of travel. There's an inability to travel, feeling stuck at the moment. And during that time, maybe in the new year, you have to go to a class or something in order to maintain your position. There's a learning to be able to maintain something. Let me keep going so I can get more info. At the end of this 12-month period, here we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Knight of Pentacles again. How rare is that, right? To get how many cards? 78 cards in a tarot deck, and the same cards landed on top of each other. You are going to be feeling very stubborn about something. You're going to take your time with something. It's going to be almost tedious for others to watch you, maybe in February of 2024. You also might feel like things are okay. There's my cards. There's my car cards. If this has to do with a vehicle, if you got in trouble with the law or something over here, arguments, trouble with the law, anything to do with tickets or anything like that with a car, this is a car card. These are a car card because they're traveling, on horse, right? But it's a slow and steady pace. So if there was anything to do with this court case situation, if this is a court case situation, you're unhappy, you have to go to court, it will be a fair, judgment. I see you having to take a class, maybe, in order to defend or maintain your position, or you might be learning some information or a skill in terms of learning to defend yourself in some way. This can also be learning kind of karate as well. This can be like learning a martial art. This also has to do with movement too. And the King of Swords can very well be a judge too. So if it does have to do with anything to do with a kind of car situation or a law situation, there may be a slight fine you have to pay. You will defend yourself, There's a balancing out, a giving and a take. So There's balance and fairness, balance and fairness. Um, the Hanged Man could have to do with not being able to move forward with something, because I do have the Hangman here again with this card here. This is wanting to move forward but not being able to at this time, feeling push and pull, feeling stuck, you know. And this is really stuck, because this is like restlessness and stuck, right? Whatever punishment may, you know, or verdict may end, and then this new beginning leads you feeling very excited, and able to feel free to express yourself in a new way. This situation may help you eventually to feel more confident in yourself and how you defend yourself. We have a progression though. It's like you take a class and you learn something, right? And then you go to the next step, but you're still taking your time. If you are learning how to drive, this is a fast card and this is a slow card, okay? So you might get a ticket if you're speeding, okay? Because this is a giving and receiving, right? Financial exchange, energy exchange, and this is a timeout. This is, I've done something bad and I'm taking a timeout. And this is fast movement, right? And he is the judge. He is the person who is the wise one. You know, somebody that would be a professional. And he communicates wisely. He's communicating with you about this fastness, this revving up, this high energy, right? And then here you are learning again, learning to defend yourself, or feeling maybe a little immature in how you defend yourself, or maybe not feeling like you can defend your position at this time, and that you might feel a little overwhelmed by other people's, you know, projections upon you in this situation. You might have to pay something forward just because of the way I'm intuitively reading it. Here we have the card of slow and steady wins the race, right? This is taking a more offensive approach. Not offensive meaning like offending someone. This is more of learning to be a little bit more on the offense in terms of driving, maybe, or in terms of anything. Precaution. Learning to be more precautious. And this is taking your time and planting the seeds to move forward, right? It's literally, they don't show his horse here really that he's on top of, tilling the land, but here they do in this depiction. So, sorry guys if you didn't see those cards. He holds it and he's really taking his time this time around, okay? So you might you defend yourself, you deal with the situation, whatever it is, a contractual situation of some kind of legality, some kind of court thing, some kind of probate court thing about money from the family, and then you get to take your time with whatever. So you might be a little bit more precautious and kind of slower paced than you've been in previous months. So something you've learned or you're learning, you're taking your time to really get down, really do it well. You might be almost a overt perfectionist with how you're doing it, because people might really see you as being like really focused on what you're doing. But also not afraid to enjoy the process, because this is a card of Taurus, right? So Taurus is the five senses. So being aware. This is also learning to be more aware of other people, okay? Of maybe being a little more offensive, having better judgment skills. This can be judgment as well, because we have the Page of Pentacles. That's a learning type card. And we have Apprentice, and we have this kind of defensive, offensive kind of card. And then we have over here the Judgment. So whatever happens, it looks like towards the end of the year, whatever you started at the beginning, you got excited about, right? You were moving forward really rapidly, got yourself into something. There might have been a little bit of a bump in the road, or will be a bump in the road, excuse me. Might be feeling really tired about having to deal with it, but still feeling very confident in your approach to how you handle things and manage things. But you realize you're feeling a little bit stuck and stagnant. There's some kind of timeout from the universe that's forced. So we have March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So in September and November, I see like finances might be feeling a little bit stuck, or you might feel emotionally kind of blocked in regards to moving forward with something. But in between, sandwiched in between that, there's a new beginning. So it's as if some situation that's been kind of stuck this year will end up opening up. You'll be feeling more free. You'll be feeling more yourself again. And everything will be kind of coming up sunshine, And then there's some communication. There might be a lot of communication with a King of Swords and a Queen of Swords. There could be a relationship involved during all this, a romantic relationship. Having the King and Queen of Swords and the Queen and King of Rods, it's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very intellectually stimulating. You're very passionate communicators. You would be very into, talking all night long about things that you're passionate about. You would really get excited about what the other person has to say and how they think, and you'd be very attracted to their intelligence, how their mind works, and their confidence. These people in a relationship would not be afraid to speak their mind. So if this has to do with some sort of marriage as well, because it doesn't have to be a court case that's necessarily a negative thing. It can be maybe having to postpone something like a marriage or some kind of formal setting because somebody in the family got sick, and there's a need to, wait it out and see when the right time's going to be, and then there's that spark that comes in where you can start something new. And then the month after that start of something new, there could be a little bit of financial balancing needs to go out. So maybe feeling a little bit stagnant because you can't really move forward with a lot of things because you need to save money for those things or put money into something else. Lots of communication going on, and towards the end of this year, and then starting the beginning of next year, learning something new, learning to be very crafty in your approach to doing something, and then kind of enjoying it, like taking your time to enjoy it. You're doing something enjoyable in February, maybe going on a road trip, maybe finally getting that license if you're younger, or maybe you're just starting to learn how to drive, or or somebody that's young in your family as well. These are knighting each other. So somebody young in the family could be getting a car for the first time. And so that's kind of exciting for them. And, you know, take it slow, and whatever new exciting things are coming in, your mind might be racing a lot as well in December. There could just be a lot of stimulation mentally for you. All right, Sagittarius, I'm so sorry that it took me so long to get this out to you. I really do apologize. I hope you found this reading helpful, insightful. If you would like, you can give me a thumbs up or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. As long as you like my readings, please do so. Yeah, new things to come for the channel. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. It looks like it's going to be an exciting year full of like new contracts, new things, kind of achieving goals that seemed daunting, and finally getting over the hump and being able to be creative again in a new, inspiring way, and enjoy the five senses in whatever you're doing. So wherever travels you're going. All right. I'll talk to you later, Sagittarius. Bye.